Welcome to another Skyrim challenge video. In this one, I did the challenge of can I beat Skyrim as a Pokemon master. So the rules for this challenge are simple. 1. I'm only allowed to deal damage by using conjured creatures. Second of all, I am not allowed to use any exploits that does things other than save time intentionally. Third, no using restoration magic to heal in combat. 4. I'm allowed to use shouts if and only if they're required for that section. So the adventure begins with character creation. I decided to play a high elf for that magicka increase. I then just run through Helgen, kind of ignoring all the creatures. I lockpick, open the door, and take the wizard's gear. I then leave Helgen and run over to Riverwood. On the way, I stop at the Guardian Stone and pick up the Mage Stone for that magicka boost. I then go over to Riverwood and I stop at the Riverwood Trader. I buy a book of Reanimate Corpse and leave. Go over to Bleakfall Barrows and try to fight. And I realize very quickly that trying to reanimate Skeevers to fight the bandits is ineffective. I then just run by all the enemies because that's substantially faster and speed run through any puzzles, get to the final boss where I then lead them into a trap and get them killed. I then stop by Lucian again and give him his claw back. I then go over to Whiterun, where I talk to the Jarl. We get the quest to go get the Dragonstone, immediately hand that over to the court wizard, and buy Conjure Familiar and Conjure Flame Atronach from him. We then have to go fight the dragon, which I can actually do things this time because Shouts Only was absolutely garbage. We kill the dragon, and then I'm a dragonborn. I go over to Jarl Balgriff, get the quest to go talk to the Greybeards. I go over to the Greybeards, starting from Helgen, run up the stairs, talk to the Greybeards, do their quest line, get the quest to go over to Ustengrav. I go into Ustengrav, and I run by all the enemies, find the letter, run out of Ustengrav, and I go to Delphine, and she gives me the horn, and she tells me about the fact that the dragons are getting resurrected. I go over to Windhelm. I then go over and fight the dragon with Delphine. We defeat them, and they tell me to go to the Thalmor Embassy, which I enter. The Thalmor Embassy was a lot less annoying this time. I just ran through the first 2 rooms, and apparently you don't trigger aggro once you enter that final room. So that's going to be very helpful on this challenge and maybe future challenges. So I sneak through that final room, entering the final dungeon. I summon Flame Atronach to kill the enemies in that room, talk to the person, and they tell me where to find Esbern. And I then kill the Thalmor agents and take one of their keys for the trapdoor and leave. This is then where I go over to Riften, tell Esbern that I'm Dragonborn. Then I go back over to Delphine in Riverwood, and Esbern tells us about the Alduin's Wall. We go over there, run by most of the enemies. I summon some Flame Atronachs on the way, but again, it's a lot faster to just run by them. Using the Atronachs is more like just like a shield. So I then go through the puzzle rooms, open the blood seal, get into Alduin's Wall, wait through some long cutscenes, and learn that I need to find new Dragon Shout. I talk to Erengr, the Greybeard. Then Paarthurnax calls to me. They teach me Clear Skies, and I go up to Paarthurnax. Paarthurnax tells me that in order to learn the Dragon Shout, Dragon Ren, I have to go find the Elder Scroll. I go through the dungeons and reach Septimus Cygnus. He tells me that I need to go to a dwarven ruin. I go through Blackreach. I actually had to work my way down because I wasn't able to use the invulnerability shout because that would be breaking the rules. So I actually have to make my way down. Takes a few tries because it's annoying. But I successfully get through, get into Blackreach, run by all the enemies, and then leave, having the Elder Scroll. I take the Elder Scroll to the Time Wound and try to fight Alduin. I spend like 20 minutes on this and realize that I am currently not really strong enough to fight Alduin. Because of this, I realize that my conjuration's only about level 30 and my character's level's only about level 3. So remember in the rules where I say I can't use exploits unless all they do is save me time. This means that it's within the rules to use exploits to grind level, because it does save me the time of going between dungeons and just summoning a bunch of creatures to try to get levels. So I go over to Bleakfall Barrows again, enter, and start spamming soul trap onto one of the skeevers until I reach level 100 in conjuration. I don't actually take any levels though. I wait to take my levels once I reach Alduin's fight and I need the health. So I then defeat Alduin, this time with 2 frost atronachs that I got, and I learn that I need to go trap Odoving. I go through the Peace Council, talk to Esbern. He tells me the shout and word to summon Odoving. I go to Whiterun and summon Odoving. I then trap him, and he tells me that I need to go to Skuldolphin. Then, once I'm in Skuldolphin, I run by a lot of the enemies, summoning Frost Atronachs on the way to, block hits and things. But I get through, I enter the dungeon, and I actually fought the enemies this time. I went through, and I fought every single enemy. Once I got out of the actual dungeon section, I did run by all the enemies and jumped into Sovngarde. Once I was in Sovngarde, I ran by a lot of the enemies again, found the guy who wants that summoned the Frost Atronachs before he triggered aggro, and he lost very easily. He did somehow kill one of my Frost Atronachs though. I go into the Hall of Valor, get the people who fought Alduin originally, we fight Alduin, and realize at the very end the final hit to Alduin can't be from a Frost Atronach or any of those because they don't trigger aggro on him. None of the other guys. So I decide as an executive decision that I will count having to use a single punch at the very end to defeat Alduin in the rules of the game. So I then punch Alduin, causing him to explode, and I leave Sovngarde. So this challenge, I would definitely rate a lot better in terms of fun. If you rate it entirely as how much better is it than just playing the game normally, with 5 being the game normally, I would probably say it's a 6 or 7. I would prefer playing it with this limitation than to not do it. In terms of challenge, it wasn't too hard of a challenge. So it was harder than regular, but that was just because, yeah. So I'd probably rate that another 6. In terms of time consumingness, it wasn't much more consuming than if I was playing through the game normally. I'd probably rate that a 5 out of 10. All in all, definitely would recommend this over the Shouts Only challenge. New idea. I'm rating every single game against every single challenge I do against all the other challenges. So right now, in first place is Pokemon Master, and in second place is Shouts Only. Let's see how that updates over time. Okay, thanks for watching, and signing off for hopefully not the last time someone who's never on topic and apparently has stopped writing scripts. I wrote scripts for my first 2 videos, and then I just stopped. That's why I have to edit these down so much.